Good evening, guys. I hope you're ready for our next semester. We're going to go ahead and get started right off the bat with a few set of notes that you'll need for tomorrow. So take this moment to kind of text someone in your group, make sure they got this message that we've got our online lecture finally up. It's been on the calendar, so hopefully you've been looking out for it. But let's go ahead and get started with the geography of religion. Oh, look, they put a new little ad there, so it covers my stuff. Religion and geography is really interesting to look at. Obviously, we're going to look at the space and distribution of religions, but it's really important to know that religions are everywhere. They are more or less universal in that they exist. So every country, every place more or less has a religion or some religious story. If you look here, we've got Shintos, we have folk religion, we have Korean religions, Chinese religions, Judaism. I mean, there are all sorts of different religions all over the place. And so the question becomes, why do we care about religions if we're geographers? That's not what you want. Why do you care about religions if you're a geographer? Still getting there. And the question is, frankly, we don't care about who's right or wrong. We don't care about most customs or history or maybe the different belief systems and who's better than one another. Obviously, we don't care about that in geography. So here's some stuff you do need to write down, and I think I skipped a slide. There you go. And here's some things we do care about. You don't need to write these down. And it's that geographers, we look at the hearts of religions, the origins, the places. We look how they spread, how they're spread across the earth. We do care about how and why they've diffused. So in terms of culture, we really care about religion as geographers. And we do care about how they organize their landscape and environment differently. And that's going to jump us into this next slide I got to a little earlier. We also care about the conflicts that religion causes over space. This slide, though, and this is the first thing you're going to need to write down, is cosmogony. You need to know this word. And cosmogony, are religious beliefs governing the origin of the universe. And I'm going to just throw some examples at you. You're going to need to know these examples. Some religions think there are two opposite forces that govern the universe. These are sort of like the root, the foundation of their religion, or where things came from. And those things led to the creation of all natural things. Some religions think God created nature and land and humans as separate forces, and that both are governed differently. Some religions think that God created man and earth to be creates man and earth to be harnessed by man. We actually, as geographers, don't care. We just don't care. What we do care about is how these different stories or these different cosmogonies affect the way land is treated. And I'll give you the example. If you think that the earth was created so that man could take its resources, you're going to treat the resources of the earth a little differently. If you're like the Mongolian people, hint, put it in your case study, and you think that the spirits are leaving because people are taking advantage of the earth, your religion and people of your culture are going to treat the earth a little differently. So as geographers, we look at cosmogony as a way that determines how religions view Earth and the usage of its landscape. So do we care that they have all these different stories as geographers? Not really. We're not that into it. But we are into cosmogony because it's a core of most religions, and it really shows how that religion is going to treat different areas of the world. Oh man, I paused it and I'm not 100% sure where I left off. I know I got through this slide. Anyhow, just like there's two types of cultures, folk culture and global culture or pop culture, there are actually two types of religions as well. There's universalizing religions and ethnic religions, and they're kind of diametrically opposed. We'll start with universalizing religions, and these are any religions that attempt to be universal or can appeal to all people regardless of their culture or location. A good example of this is Buddhism. Buddhism can appeal to everybody, no matter your culture. There's all sorts of different countries that have Buddhist roots. And then there's one you're probably more familiar with, which is evangelical religions, which is a universal religion that seeks out to spread its beliefs to other people. The best example here is Christianity. And one you want to have on lock in terms of history is Christianity. You don't need to know anything about their belief structure or anything like that, but you should know that it's an evangelical universalizing religion, meaning it is a religion that can transcend culture and also attempts to find converts. Um, it's also an exclusivist religion. An exclusivist religion is usually monotheistic, and it's a religion that believes that it is the only religion, that all other religions are wrong. These are most Western religions. And then there's non-exclusivist religions, which is usually polytheistic people who say, like, hey, you can be right, I can be right, we can all be right. God might look like different things to different people. It's a very Eastern ideology that in Christianity in the West, it's harder to understand. So even though they're non-exclusivists, they're still universalists. They might even be evangelicals, but they're not exclusivist. So an exclusivist evangelical universalizing religion would be something like Christianity. And then, like I promised here, we have ethnic religions. And ethnic religions are not necessarily made to appeal to outside groups. Essentially, they appeal to one group of people in one place. These are like, think of tribal religions. Animism is a great example. Shamanism is a great example. They're really close to kinship bonds. And then there's also compound ethnic religions, and those are more based on nations and ethnicities and states. A great example here is Judaism. Even though there are Jewish people all over the world, they are tied to Israel, or what they call the Holy Land. So even though they can be a universalist religion in some ways, in reality, it's very closely related to being Jewish and being tied to the homeland. They don't really seek out converts. They sort of cater just to the Jewish people. Hindus are another example of this. And we know this, that religion is linked to so many other parts of culture. And this is what we're going to get into this next week. We're going to start our religions project. We're going to talk about how it affects population, language, politics, economics, food, family life and traditions, conflict and war, and all sorts of stuff. So hopefully these were quick enough notes for you. Hopefully you got everything. I will see you tomorrow. Make sure that you have all this stuff prepped. There's going to be a test on the 4 vocab words that you learned. Have a great night. Bye.